Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to tell you about this beautiful 2021 BMW M2 competition. One amazing performance automobile, one amazing driver's car. I've been in the car business pretty much all my life. I started when I was 15 and I'm 42 now. I've had the pleasure of driving many nice and wonderful cars, and the M2 is one of my favorites. It's not the fastest, most expensive, most exotic car, but the reason why it's one of my favorite cars to drive is that it has an amazing manual gearbox. They say manual gearboxes are a dying thing. I think if everything switches to EVs, obviously manual transmissions won't make sense, but I think as long as there are performance cars like this of internal combustion engines, I think they will give us auto enthusiasts the pleasure of driving a manual gearbox, because we all know it's not about going 0.2 of a second faster to 0 to 60. There's an amazing joy to using a clutch and a manual gearbox like this, and this is one of the finest manuals that you'll ever feel. BMW absolutely nails it. It feels wonderful in your hands. I love the suede cloth shifter boot. We have more power. Some of the early versions of the M2s I've driven were, I think, 360 or 380 horsepower. Now we're over 400 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of torque. I think it's 405 and 406. A lot of power for a little vehicle. This thing is small. It's smaller than the M3 and the M4. In fact, the reason why I like this is because growing up with some of the early M cars in the mid-90s and early 2000s, I think the M2 is a lot more along the lines of what those are versus the bigger vehicles they've become. Cars have a tendency to get bigger and heavier over the years, which is good for interior space, but not great for driving enjoyment. Weight is not your friend when going around corners. This thing is little. It has these huge grippy tires, gigantic brakes, and since it's small and nimble, you feel like you're in control of this thing. You can just toss this thing in the corners. You have effortless thrust. This thing is just so much fun to drive. I can try to paint the picture about how fun it is to drive, but you need to get behind the wheel and experience it yourself. It is truly an amazing automobile. One owner clean Carfax. It was a brand new trade for a Tesla. Only 6,878 miles. Pretty much close to nearly new condition. Hardly a mark on it. It still has a twinge of that new car smell. We have the original build sheet on this one. I love the color. What's this? Hockenheim Silver Metallic. Hockenheim Silver Metallic. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's an absolutely cool color. We have the 19-inch M Forge wheels. This premium color was a $550 extra add-on for the premium Hockenheim Silver Metallic. Then we have the executive package that was $1,200, giving you adaptive full LED lights, a Wi-Fi hotspot, heated steering wheel, automatic high beams, speed limit info, and wireless charging. Of course, for the M2 competition, you have lots of standard equipment, including these very supportive and comfortable leather trim seats. I love the blue contrast stitching. You have that stitching and suede cloth on the doors. You have this synthetic carbon fiber on the interior. A great sounding Harman Kardon audio system, heated seats, heated steering wheel, dual zone climate control. We have a parking camera, front and rear parking sensors. Wonderful leather up steering wheel. And there's nothing like the sound of this twin turbo 3-liter inline 6. Nice and raspy. One of my favorite engines ever made. Maybe you might be looking at this M2 from the other side of the country or halfway across the country. Well, we have a very big pre-owned business. We sell vehicles out of state on a monthly basis. We can arrange shipping just about anywhere in the US. Contact us for more details. If you're a little bit closer, I'm happy to tell you we have complimentary shipping to Washington and Oregon. We can put this in our car hauler. We can tow it to you. We can bring all the paperwork. So this beautiful M2 could potentially be all yours without leaving your neighborhood or even your driveway. As I mentioned, you have these super sticky, gigantic tires, beautiful wheels and tires, and then look at the size of those brakes. Gigantic brake rotors, gigantic brake calipers on a vehicle that is not that big. I think it's pretty much the same brakes that you get off the M3 and M4, which are a little bit bigger than the M2. Decent amount of trunk space for a small vehicle. So that quad exiting exhaust, absolutely beautiful. You want to roll down the windows every chance you have in this thing when you're rolling through the gears. What an amazing driving experience. If I was the happy owner of this thing, I think I would immediately call in sick the next day, and I'd either take it around Mount Rainier, or I'd take it, drive all the way down to Florence and drive it up the Oregon and Washington coast, and experience some absolute wonderful automotive joy. Inline sixes are very special, and in BMW, they're the masters of making inline six engines. They've been doing it for a long time. And this engine's amazing, twin turbo, a little over 400 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Absolutely stunning automobile, beautiful looks and lines. I have a hard time to say anything wrong about this car. You know, you could say it's a little bit small, but it also being small is what makes it fun to drive. BMW has pretty much, I think in my opinion, has created automotive perfection with this M2 competition. Don't take my word for it, even look at Car and Driver. One of my favorite automotive publications, they rate this 9.5 out of 10. Not a perfect 10, but very close. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope to see you soon, and have a wonderful day.